right. Enzo Bezwin, podcast number 2. And we are flying solo today. I just wanted to record this as I got ready for my day going out into the world. So I wanted to give some value. So what I wanted to talk about today was experimenting, going out, trying new things, experimenting, and what you can do when you're coming back, when you come back home, right? You gotta keep both in mind. Or let's do I statements. I gotta keep both in mind, right? So I gotta keep in mind that, hey, I'm gonna go out and I want to do these experiments. I get this drive to do these experiments, and you should be trying to do experiments all the time. That's how I see myself. It's like I'm like a mad scientist doing experiments all the time, okay? But the other part of the equation that I have to keep in mind is that you do these experiments, you're in the moment, but then try to think ahead about how you're going to feel, what you're going to experience when you come home or after that experiment is attempted, okay? So you may find some successes and you may find some not successes, or you might find a different outcome came about than what you were striving for. So this happens a lot with talking to girls, okay? And it's good to have a lot of different reference experiences when it comes to anything that you're interested in. Have a lot of reference experiences. What reference experiences are just experiences that you have out in the world, or experiences that you can pull from, that you read in books or learn from mentors or watch in educational videos or hear on podcasts, stuff like that, or courses that you've been through. It's all reference experiences, right? And you want to have as many as possible. That's what the most successful people have, or the best people have, is the people that you look up to or the people that inspire you. They have lots of reference experience and reference knowledge to base their ideas and base their experiments and base their strategies, base their mentalities off of. So one part of that, like I said, is actual experience that you have out in the field. So when building up your reference experiences, the reason that I brought that up is because in a book from Richard Laurina, aka the Gambler, or aka Gambler, he's a pickup artist. He's a big name in the pickup industry, right? And I learned a lot from him. I'm really thankful for the value that he put out into the world for people to take from, because I learned a lot of valuable information from that man. And in one of his books, I have a few of his books, and in one of them, I read that when he was first starting to get into pickup stuff, he said that he got lucky, and one of the first girls that he talked to happened to give him her number, and they went on to have this relationship. He said it was quote-unquote lucky, right? And it's debatable, or it could be argued that there's these paradoxes of success. One of the paradoxes of success is that, hey, it may be lucky to get the first girl that you go up to gives you her number, but then somebody could also say that that's unlucky because you don't get the experience of the rejection. So people who have had to overcome intense hurdles actually feel luckier than people who have it easy, right? So in the end, a lot of the time you'll hear people who have it much harder say that, man, I'm lucky that I had to go through that because it fortified me, or it gave me a foundation. So you want to keep those kind of things in mind. But anyways, I'm reading his book. He says he got lucky with one of the first girl that he went up and tried to do a pickup approach on was receptive to him. So they ended up going on to have a 2-year relationship, but he got too needy, right? So you want to get reference experiences, and one of those reference experiences is me having read that in that book, right? So by reading that in that book, then that makes me realize, hey, I can go out and I can just get lucky, or I can go up, the first girl that I go up to just happens to be receptive, right? But also from reading many other different books, I also learned from them that it's like, man, that's not the typical scenario. Typical scenario is you go out and you flounder multiple times, okay, before seeing any kind of success. And that has been my experience. When I go out, it takes me about 2 to 3 weeks of consistent approaching to actually get a girl that ends up going on to where we end up having an intimate interaction together, okay? I'm getting numbers along the way, but that's only one step in the equation. Like rsdjeffy says, I like one of the things he says. He's like, don't think that just by you getting a number or just by you having a good interaction with a girl or something, you want to try to see your interactions to the end. See them all out to the end. Like you're trying to get a same day lay on all of them, or you're trying to get to a point where you're being intimate with this girl on every interaction that you have. Because what rsdjeffy says, he's like, man, there's a million ways to fuck that up. You know, there's a million ways to each stage of a seduction has a million different ways that you could fuck each stage up, right? So your outcome, or the goal that you're going for, what you're striving for, is this completion of the process, right? You're trying to get to that end goal of becoming intimate together. You know what I mean? And where it's in a positive way. Something I like to stress is my win-win philosophy in life towards anything. You should be coming at it from a win-win mindset. Even if you're trying to get a job, applying for a job or something, all that's in your mind is win-win. Like, how can I benefit these people? And how can I benefit myself? But man, that has to be very forefront of your RAS, reticular activation system, bro. That has to be right up front, man. Win-win. And you want to be kind of thinking long-term win-win, too. A lot of people are stuck in this short-term thinking, man. Putting Band-Aids on everything. When the real issue is the knife that's cutting everything open. You know what I mean? And even deeper than that, man. You want to go deeper than that? It's not the knife, it's the person wielding the knife. And then go deeper than that. It's like, what does the person wielding the knife believe? Or are you paying enough attention to how you're handling the knife? Be aware. Be aware and take responsibility. Right? So, just to get all deep and philosophical with you, give you some stuff to mull over in your mind. Think about it. But, yeah, you should be thinking win-win. So when you're trying to accomplish these win-win interactions with a girl, where it's mutually beneficial for both of you, part of doing that is being consistently focused, or is having a strong part of your focus being on completing the process, becoming intimate together, sharing an intimate experience together, right? So keep that in mind. And so staying on track with experimenting and, you know, the value of looking ahead and seeing how you handle your results that come from your experimentations is important. And staying on track with that, what I want to start covering now is why it's beneficial to do that. So the reason that it's beneficial to be aware of your experimentation and your process when doing experiments is that you want to be, it allows you to have more control over your emotions, because this is an important part of life, or becoming successful, right? Or even a part of, you know, gaining the respect of your peers and, you know, your family members and things like that, which is an important part of life. Don't let people try to confuse you, man. Don't let people that are derailed derail you. Don't let people try to make you feel guilty just because they can't figure out how to get respect from people Don't let them make you feel guilty for being aware of the importance of respect and the value of becoming a respectable person, okay? Don't let people guilt trip you out of that. So you got to be aware of that. But part of, becoming a respectable person is having control over your emotions, man. And it's healthy and good to grow more, to learn more, to be constantly learning. Henry Ford says that the men who are dead or are old are people who have stopped learning, no matter what their age is. If you stop learning, you're old or you're dead. He said the people who are continuously learning are forever young, okay? So just be aware of that, man, and be continually learning good stuff, powerful stuff. I guess good is too broad of a word, but be continually learning important things, valuable information, communication skills. And your learning should be kind of geared towards how to make other people's lives better, okay? I guess that's the best way to leave it, is that if you read fiction, for example, if you just read, like, I see a lot of girls who read a lot of fantasy books, not even like the romance novels and stuff, but they just read these fantastical books and fiction books, like spy books and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Why are you reading that? Like, look deeply into that and see kind of like what problems or what things you're lacking in reality that are requiring you to seek this fantasy outside of real life. And look deeply into that, because what you should be doing is, if you have a bad job or a job that you don't like or something, or there's a circumstance in your life that you don't like, and you're reading fantasy fiction books, then you need to recalibrate and realize that, hey, this isn't the time to be reading fiction, fantasy. This isn't the time to be escaping. You need to be building your life, learning how to construct your life in a way through reading nonfiction and educational material, things that make you better, things that successful people say to read, Aristotle, Plato, stuff like that. You need to make sure that you're extremely well read in that stuff, and get your real life straightened out first. Then it's okay to be reading some fiction. Or if you read a ton of how-to books, you read the Ultramind Solution, you read 150 Healthiest Foods, you read Plato's Republic, you read Aristotle's Politics, Nicomachean Ethics, and you read Helen Keller's Optimism, and you read Bill Gates. Everybody likes to hate on him and be like, oh, he's so rich. Oh, he's just a billionaire. He's not connected with us lowly people. People like to hate on these rich people. There's many other examples, right? But let's just use Bill Gates as an example right now. People don't study Bill Gates or even Mark Zuckerberg, right? This guy, this hugely influential character. People know nothing about Bill Gates, but who's having the biggest influence on your life right now? Bill Gates. The laptop that you're constantly using, the computer that you're constantly using, the phone that you're constantly using, even if it's a MacBook, the computer and the laptop that you're constantly using are so heavily influenced by that man, Bill Gates. He's having a constant influence on your life. Man, he's connected so many people. That's why I brought up Mark Zuckerberg, man. These two men in particular, very impactful on our society at the current moment. That's why the really successful, intelligent, witty, cool, interesting people to be around recommend reading Aristotle and Plato and Helen Keller and Cicero. These really amazing people recommend reading this stuff because those men and women, Helen Keller, are having a profound effect on our life right now. All you have to do is go read the books. Read the books and you'll see, whoa, like this person did that, or this person did this, or these are the people that moved things forward, right? Things would be vastly different for us right now had these people not taken some of the magnificent actions that they took, right? Or implemented some of the magnificent processes that they implemented, things that have stood the test of time. Even Charlie Munger literature. All these really influential people that are having an impact on my life and your life at this very moment. You want to be well read in that stuff. And if you're reading that stuff all the time, and then maybe once a month or maybe once every couple months you read a fiction book, that's okay. I think that's healthy. That's good. My opinion is that that's healthy and that's okay. But man, you could read one book every single day, but if it's all fiction, you're not going anywhere. Unless of course, your idea is you want to become a fiction writer. If that's your goal, that's what you love, man, it's still even then though, you got to read books on how to accomplish your goals and how to, success and stuff like that, because that's the only way that you're going to be successful as a fiction writer, is if you understand the blueprint, understand the process, understand all the factors that are involved in becoming successful at things that you want, or even just becoming successful at things. Because what you actually start to find by reading these success books is that the things that you don't want that are going on in your life right now, the things that you don't like about your life, you've been practicing all the skills of success, but applying it to the things that you don't like. Read the book Talent is Overrated. If you don't like your job, or in Talent is Overrated, they talk about how like Tiger Woods or, Beethoven and these people, world-class violinists, world-class orchestra members and stuff like that, they spent 5 hours, 6 hours, 8, sometimes, and even 8 hours, sometimes even more, every day, nearly every single day. They spent that much time practicing throughout their entire lives. You know what I mean? They spent that, it was that kind of amount of time put in, okay, to that skill. So it's like people all over the world know about these people and they developed these abilities to such a high level like that, okay? So if you don't like your job, guess what you're doing? You're spending 5, 6 hours, 8 hours, sometimes even more, 10 hours every single day, a couple days off, if you want to call it that, practicing this thing that you hate, practicing this thing you don't like. Start to become aware of the things that you're practicing. All right, so keeping it on track with experimentation. When you experiment, you want to be aware of how you're going to feel afterwards of the experiment so that you can have better opportunity for success and for positive and beneficial growth. So say you're going to do an experiment, and your experiment is you finally crack down on it. Today what you're going to do is you're going to go out, and today you're going to go to the mall and you're going to talk to 10 different cashiers. You're going to talk to 10 different cashiers that you find cute, and you're going to ask them for their number, right? And you're going to, put whatever kind of pickup information you've been following, or approach platforms, or approach structures, or approach blueprints that you've been following. You're going to go test those out on 10 different cashiers today. And you're not going to go home, you're not going to sleep until you've done 10, until you've approached and gotten the number, or approached 10 cashiers. Okay? Now, if this is an experiment for you, or this is new, you should be experimenting. You're going to find yourself experimenting with other things too. You're at the same exact time, you're experimenting with well, okay, I'm going to wear these kind of clothes when I go out and do this. Or I'm going to wear this hat, or I'm not going to wear this hat. Or I'm going to wear these shoes, I'm going to not wear these shoes. You're experimenting with what you ate before. What did I eat before going out to do this? Did I eat some shit that's high in sodium? Did I eat some fast food? Or did I eat something really good? Did I eat a salad? Or did I eat some elk? You know what I mean? Did I eat something high in potassium? Some kale? So you want to be aware of all these different things, all these different factors that are variables in your experimentation. And when you become more aware of all the different factors in your situation that you're experimenting with, you have a better idea when you come home and analyze the results that you got. Now you have concrete things that you can measure, or that you can, attempt to change or experiment with further in the future on your next outing or your next experimentation attempt. So then this time, if you can even write all those things down. I recommend it. Writing all the things down. Alright, I wore this outfit, I had my hat this way, and I had my shirt buttoned up like this, and I experienced this degree of success or this degree of failure. I remember one time, because I noticed that when I wear a certain shirt, and I wear my hat backwards while I wear this shirt, and just a certain kind of get up, I get a lot more positive reactions from females, right? But there's one time I wore a shirt. I went on one of these experiments, like, I'm gonna talk to this many girls today. Man, I talked to like 10 girls, bro, and I was in this shirt where I had cut the sleeves off. So it was one of those like gym shirts where it used to be like a t-shirt that was too big for me. And so I just cut the sleeves off so I could use it like at the gym and stuff. And I was walking around like Walmart and all these different like normal stores and stuff in this shirt with cut off sleeves. And I think I was wearing like maybe gym shorts or something too, or I think I had like just shorts on or something. And man, every girl that I talked to when I was in this outfit just didn't respond well to me. And I took that as as an example, or it's like, it's not out and out because I only talked to a certain number of girls, but so it's not a full experiment, but it's still good for your knowledge base, for your references experience, to recognize that, hey, when I wear this gym rat shirt that has the sleeves cut off, man, girls just don't really respond well to that. I don't know what it is right now, but I realized that, hey, I'd get a less response from girls who typically respond well to me. Or even girls that, do this as an experiment. Go talk to girls you're not attracted to. Talk to girls that most men aren't attracted to. Talk to unattractive girls that you could get, or whatever, right? But, man, rock this gym rat shirt with your sleeves cut and do your same approach and stuff like that. Sometimes then it comes down to, it's like, yeah, you can pick up a girl in any kind of outfit, but you have to change your approach. I can't do the same approach that I do when I'm wearing nice clothes and talking to classy girls. I can't use the same approach and go up to these classy girls and have this classy approach if I'm in all this gym and kind of look like a quote-unquote douchebag. Like this, I looked like a, what people like to say, called douchebag look, right? So it's like, if you come up, just be aware of how that affects people's perception of you, especially females that you're attracted to and you want to get to know more. Okay? So, be aware of all these things, be aware of what you're experimenting with, and, have a way to measure it or have a way to calculate it so that when you come home, if you get rejected by all 10 girls like I did when I did a mall experiment like that, I went and I actually talked to like 20 or 25 different cashiers at the mall. I was talking to everybody that day, and I got rejected by every single one. I didn't even get a phone number. I didn't even get one of them to give me their phone number. So, and when you go home, that can be kind of a hard experience. That can be a little bit harsh when you get home and you're like, damn, I got rejected by 25 girls. But if you realize that what you're doing is you're experimenting and you just go right back to the drawing board and start writing it down. Here's what I did. Here's what I did. Where are the opportunities that I can change? What are things that I can change? And I remember writing down, I can change my voice tone. I can change what I ate before. I can change how I'm feeling. I can change my nervousness level. I can change my clothing. I can change if my hat is forward or backwards. I can change my eye contact. How long am I holding eye contact? I can change my body language. Man, there was just all these new things to experiment with. And instead of feeling this self-pity or this self-loathing or feeling depressed or anything, you just feel this surge of energy and can't wait to go out and experiment more.